Okay, kumusta tayo mga kaibigan, mga kababayan ko? Diyan po sa Pilipinas, saka dito po sa Malaysia, at saka lahat mga overseas Filipino workers sa iba-ibang nation po dito sa mundo. Kumusta kayo? Ito po si Nico Fabian. Nandito na naman tayo po sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Pagod kayo, ano? Napagod tayo kahapon kasi medyo nakumpisa maganda ang demonstration natin ng mga Filipinos po, but sa bandang huli po, mayroon din yung mga ibang tao na walang konsensya din po. They took advantage. For me, they took advantage of the rally carried out by tayo mga Filipinos, mga peace-loving people po. No? Mga peace-loving people. Wala tayong intention kahapon, ang rally natin, September 21. Billion peso rally at saka ang trillion peso march. Diyan po sa both main venues po, sa Luneta at saka sa Extra Shrine at saka sa mga iba-ibang parte pa ng Manila po. So maganda sana po nakumpisa na tayo po, and towards the end po, unfortunately, akala ko nga yung rally natin kahapon po parang fairy tale ending ba, no? Fairy tale story ending. They live happily ever after. Pero hindi yun nangyari. Dahil sa kunting na tao po who took advantage of the situation. Ano mga reaction ng mga tao? Sa rally natin kahapon, ang billion peso march at saka ang trillion peso march, mixed reaction po. Ako po, may mixed reaction ko po. Kagaya sinabi ko kanina, masayang-masaya ako po because what we did, we managed to pull thousands of Filipinos, thousands of Filipinos united and came out to the street and voiced our disappointment, our anger, our outrage po dahil itong corruption sa Pilipinas. Maganda yun po. Nakumpisa tayo maaga. Some of us came out or woke up very early po only to prepare and make sure that they will be sa venue site, no? Sa venue po at 9 o'clock dyan po sa Luneta. Some went to Camp Crame. Others went to Extra Shrine and other places pa po, no? Other places pa like Liwanang Bonifacio, nandoon din sila po, no? So maganda. Ang unity, I really salute po, and I'm very happy na mayroon tayong, hindi pa nawala ang unity natin. And we have shown to the world once again na ganito po ang Filipino. Peaceful rally. Binigay na sa atin ang gobyerno ang oportunidad, ang opportunity to gather and organize rallies and express our feelings. Then, we took advantage of it in a very professional, peaceful manner po. Walang gulo. Although, mayroon kunting a little bit chaos, no? Siguro dahil sa tension ng mga tao, dahil sa heat of the sun, from mainit na ang araw in the morning, tapos may ulan, dumating ang ulan po. No? Dumating ang ulan. So, yun po, mixed reaction. By the way, I will be talking about this thing later on. And I'm going to support you with you. I'm going to support you with some video clips that I have also prepared para at least you will have an idea kung anong mga latest updates, anong mga latest statements coming from the local authorities or from the authorities concerned dyan po sa Pilipinas. Sa Pilipinas. And of course, huwag natin kalimutan na ang rally was not only carried out in the Philippines but also carried out in other countries like Canada, sa Vancouver po, sa The Hague, no? Sa The Hague, no? Germany, and Japan po, huwag natin kalimutan. Ang Japan, na dami din tao nag-attend. A lot of people attended the Filipino gathering in Japan dahil po ang guest speaker nila, the guest speaker is no other than the Vice President of the Philippines, Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, and she is the daughter of our former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, who is now under detention, under the custody of the International Criminal Court, facing charges on crimes on humanity po. Yun po. So, ang daming tao po, nationwide, there were rallies sa Davao, sa Zamboanga, sa iba-iba pang parte ng Pilipinas. And it was carried out peacefully, except itong what happened dyan po sa Mindiola, dyan po sa Maynila. Anyway, we'll talk about it later on. I will share with you muna po some other things po, no? Sa mga kababayan ko dito sa Sabah, especially sa Sabah, sa Kota Kinabalu, and nearby district and municipalities, mga Filipinos. And of course, all the Filipinos in Malaysia, as well as our Malaysian friends po, who are also keen to know what is happening. Or, what is the latest updates regarding the political, economic, and security aspects in the Philippines, because they too have something to do in the Philippines, like siguro may mga investments sila, may mga relatives sila po, no? Mga Malaysian friends natin. And they want also to know what is happening in the Philippines. Especially that the issue in the Philippines is too hot now after what we saw in Indonesia, the rallies in Indonesia, the rallies in Nepal. Don't forget the few months ago, ang rallies in Thailand, and at the same time, wag nating kalimutan, just recently, the rallies in France. In France, in Paris po. No? So, unang-una, I just want to remind you, all Filipinos in the Philippines, no, to take good care of you, of yourself, of your properties, children, and senior citizens, disabled people, our relatives po. Make sure that they are always safe, especially now that it was announced by the Pag-asa, ang Weather Bureau dyan po sa Pilipinas, that dumating na po, nandyan ba po si Typhoon Nando. Typhoon Nando po. No? It's a super typhoon, and although it's expected to leave the Philippine area of responsibility tomorrow, but dumating na po. It is now there in the Philippines. And this is the reason why in Kota Kinabalu or in Sabah po, this morning we experienced abrupt rain dito. So maybe because of the landfall of typhoon or super typhoon Nando dyan po sa Pilipinas. Ingat tayo po. Take care of ourselves, and even in Sabah we are facing some areas po still submerged due to the heavy downpour that we experienced last week and just recently po. And this is it. No? Left and right na po, nandyan na po ang several community centers were converted into evacuation centers po. And that is also happening now in the Philippines po. Especially areas affected by Super Typhoon Nando. Anyway, okay, dito muna tayo po. Sandali lang ito. But I think it is also important because tungkol sa rally ito po and tungkol sa statement of Inday Sara Duterte regarding ang updates sa former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte dyan po sa The Hague. Dyan po sa The Hague. During the gathering of Filipinos in Japan, yesterday po, no? Yesterday, Nagoya ba yun po o sa Tokyo? Now, she mentioned, our Vice President mentioned or updated what the latest news on her father dyan po sa International Criminal Court Detention Center po. And one of the issues that she raised was, she confirmed, reiterated that the appeal for interim release, ibig sabihin po, temporary release of Tatay Digong dyan po sa The Hague, no? Ito ang mga detalles po she told ang mga audience niya po sa gathering sa Japan. Sabi niya, yes, we already have a third country who's willing to host Tatay Digong po while awaiting itong trial niya po, a crime against humanity po, no? The hearing of charges was postponed. It should have been September 23rd, but nag-postpone niyo po. And ang legal team ni Tatay Digong po, they're fighting for no jurisdiction ang ICC. And yun na po ang interim release appeal. Ngayon, yun po, he's not fit to stand trial. Mentally and physically po. No? Mentally and physically. But the court, the ICC has yet to decide. And let's see po what will be the result in the coming maybe. I hope it will be soon, if not too soon. No? Because ang mga tao po, since day one, Tatay Digong was sent to the custody of the ICC po. Every day, ang mga Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also in other parts in the world, keep on praying, and some, they continue to gather to show support to the former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Nandito po, I'm going to share with you ang a portion of the speech of Inday Sara Duterte po, dyan sa The Hague sa Japan yesterday ba ito? Yesterday ata ito eh. Alright, sandali. Alright, tingnan natin. Let's listen to this. Watch carefully po, and I hope you will learn something and enjoy watching this video clip po. Nandito po. Let's listen. Okay, yan po, narinig natin, confirm na confirm po, sinabi ni Inday Sara Duterte na mayroon ng third party, although she did not mention. Ang pangalan ng third party po is willing to absorb or to host ang stay ni Tatay Digong po sa nasyon nila po. And ang mga tao she made this announcement during the speech dyan po sa gathering sa Japan. Yesterday, no? Yesterday po, no? Yesterday. Shoutout muna tayo kay Mary Lou Pentodio who is watching itong programa natin, Nick Talk, Korea Talk with Nico, and mga iba pa who is watching itong programa natin ngayon. Today is September 2022 na po, no? 22 na po, and kumusta kayo lahat, no? Those who are celebrating their birthday today, especially ang nisko ko po, dyan si Angel Fabian Berlio from London. I would like to pass my birthday greetings to her po, no? I spoke to her this morning, and nasa ano pala sila, together with their parents and titas po, nasa Philippines sila, and on the way going to Zamboanga City. Alright, so yon, confirmado na po, and the Filipinos who attended the rally or the gathering yesterday dyan po sa Japan, were shouting Duterte, Duterte. Ang daming tao po, no, participated, and when Inday Sara Duterte, the Vice President, mentioned about the third party issue, they were shouting kung pwede daw ang Japan. But Inday Sara Duterte, hindi po, she did not reveal the name of the third party po. Hintay pa natin po kung mag-approve ba yon ang ICC po, ang request and appeal ni Tatay Digong po. So far, hanggang ngayon po, wala pa tayong resulta. Alright, so yun ang latest updates natin tungkol sa Tatay Digong. And this time around, let me share with you another video clip po tungkol sa typhoon muna, no? Kasi kailangan din yung typhoon. Ano ba ito? Ang typhoon natin, 2.30. Hanap tayo ang 2.30 po. Sa typhoon muna tayo, para at least aware ang mga Filipinos, mga Filipinos dito sa Sabah, dito sa Malaysia. 100%, I know there are Filipinos who are legally working and residing in Malaysia, not only in West Malaysia, wherein the capital is Kuala Lumpur, and dito po din sa East Malaysia, mayroon tayong dalawang state, and that is Sabah and Sarawak. The capital of Sarawak is Kuching, while the capital of Sabah is Kota Kinabalu, of which nandito tayo ngayon po, no? Ito ang base natin sa Kota Kinabalu City dito po sa Sabah. Dami mga Filipino, may mga relatives dyan po sa Pilipinas, and maybe they're also affected or affected by itong typhoon, super typhoon Nando. And it is for this reason that I will share with you this news report po. This morning pa ito po, This morning pa, hapon na tayo ngayon. But anyway, it's worthwhile getting the information po, although it's a few hours late tayo po. Andito, let's listen to this report.
Cheryl, magmula kaninang madaling araw hanggang sa mga oras na ito, patuloy na hinahampas ng malalakas na hangin na sinasabayan pa ng buhos ng ulan dito sa Aparicagayan, dulot nga ng Super Typhoon Nando. Ang pangamba ng mga otoridad, posibleng maghapon pa nilang maramdaman itong napakasungit na panahon dulot nga ng naturang bagyo. Bumaba yung hangin at malakas na ulan ang naranasan sa malaking bahagi ng Cagayan simula alauna ng madaling araw kanina dahil sa Super Typhoon Nando. Halos matumbad na nga ang mga puno. Ang isang convenience store sa bayan, naglagay na ng harang na yero para hindi mapasag ang kanilang dingding na gawa sa salamin. Noon na nang sinabi ng Pag-asa, posibleng umabot sa lampas 3 metrong maranasang taas ng alon at storm surge o daluyong sa mga baybaying dagat. Bago ito, marami ng residente ang agad nagsilikas, lalo yung mga nakatira sa mga babang lugar at malapit sa dagat. Sa tala ng Aparig LGU, halos 200 pamilya o mahigit 6 na lang individual ang nananatili ngayon sa mga evacuation center. Mabilis naman silang binibigyan dito ng mga pagkain at kinakailangang gamot. Pangamba ng lokal na pamahalaan dahil sa epekto ng Super Typhoon Nando, siguradong apektado ang 20,000 residente nila mula sa 16 na barangay na pawang naninirahan malapit sa dagat.
Malapit lang po kami sa dagat. Mas malakas po yung hangin pagka may impact. Baka storm surge din.
Cheryl, update lamang dito sa pinakasentro ng bayan ng Apari, dito sa Rizal Street. Makikita nyo sa akin likuran, halos nakasarado na ang lahat ng mga establishmento dito bilang ghost town na nga kung titignan dahil nga sa epekto ng napakalakas na bagyong Nando. At wala na rin kuryente sa ibang bahagi ng probinsya ng Cagayan at sa ngayon, nagpatupad na ng forced evacuation ang lokal na pamahalaan ng Apari para nga unahing ilikas itong mga naninirahan malapit sa dagat, maging yung mga nasa may ilog banda dahil pinangangambahan nila na mas lumakas pa itong naturang bagyo bandang hapon mamaya. Ang pakiusap ng pamahalaan sa mga naninirahan dito, makinig sa mga otoridad at kung kailangan ng lumikas, sumunod at huwag na magmatigas pa ng ulo para na rin sa kaligtasan ng bawat isa. Cheryl.
Alright, yun po sa Apari, Cagayan, no? Ready na sila po na ang city nila, narinig natin po, parang ghost town na po, closed down na po because of the threat of Typhoon Nando, no? Typhoon Nando po. And definitely, if we can feel the tail of the typhoon here in Kota Kinabalu, here in Sabah, what more, ang mga lugar dyan po malapit sa Apari, Cagayan. Ang Manila po, definitely po. No? But, sana hindi ma-worry ang mga Filipinos po kung lahat itong mga projects, flood control projects ng gobyernong Marcos po, it was were carried out properly and completed on time. No? On time po. So, ito na another example, another example that we should not forget po, no? Dahil sa mga selfish motives, dahil sa corruption ng mga contractors natin dyan po involved sa flash control project sa Pilipinas. Hindi lang sa Manila, this is nationwide po. Remember that. Nationwide, and involves billions if not trillions of pesos, no? Ito na po ang resulta. We are still suffering. Lives will be lost or have been lost and will be lost. Properties damaged, no? Inconvenience to the Filipinos, no? Yan, ang dami po. And apektado talaga po. Kung okay lang sana, kagaya what kung totoo lang sana what President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. said last year during ang SONA niya po, State of the Nation Address, that completed na po some 5,500 flood control projects throughout the country. No? Kung totoo lang sana yon po, siguro hindi na tayo, maskin anong klaseng bagyo po, no? Or a typhoon, mayroon tayo magpasok sa Pilipinas po, hindi na. We will not get so worried of ang negative impact, no? Kasi menos na ang epekto or effect of any kind of typhoon, po, be it super, be it medium or regular or small, as thunderstorm lang po, no? So this is it. Kaya nga ang mga tao galit na galit po, galit na galit. Hindi lang because of the negative effects of the flash flood that we are experiencing every time may bad weather condition tayo sa Pilipinas, but apektado din ang mga buhay natin po, in terms of because of corruption, graft and corruption, apektado din ang buhay natin po in terms of ang mga salaries natin, ang transportation facilities natin, ang development projects natin po, no? Ang bigas, ang gasolina, no? Although ang gasolina, maybe we cannot blame to the Philippine government po because dahil sa gera sa ibang nasyon, no? Wala tayong control dyan po, no? Wala tayong control. Ang cost of living, mataas talaga sa Pilipinas. Mataas talaga sa Pilipinas. Kaya nga, kailangan na we have to ask our government, incumbent or the present government to do something. Sabi nga nila, What will happen now? Tapos na ang demonstration. We came out already. Will the government, the Marcos administration, look into or narinig ba sila ang boses ng mga Pilipino? Let's wait and see po. Because once we try to solve problems, especially malaking problema po, it will not be solved overnight lang. Hindi yan po. Hindi yan po. Ngayon, let's give chance. Okay? Narinig na po ang gobyerno. What we want all itong mga those who are involved in anomalies, graft and corruption po, be it in the government, be it politicians, be it private sector po, put them behind bars. There must be accountability. Justice must not be selective. Accountability must not be selective. Due process of the law must not be selective. Pantay-pantay tayong lahat. Remember that. Ito mga gobyerno, mga opisyales natin sa gobyerno, especially those who are really involved in this kalokohan, in this anomalies po, at the expense of the taxpayers, mga Filipinos po, no? Remember, we are paying you to do your work, no? To do your work. Biro mo, dumating na talaga na ang sitwasyon po, wherein, let's say for example, development projects. Instead, ang gobyerno will pay ang contractor for the work that they have done or doing, na baliktad na po. Ngayon po, ang contractor nagbayad sa gobyerno. Ganon yan po nangyari. And hindi lang ito ngayon po. It has been going on for how many donkey years? Decades na po. And dumating ang araw na pagod na tayo, enough is enough. Kaya nga kahapon po, we went out. And let's see again, kung nothing has been done, despite of our call for the government to do something, address the problem, find a long-term solution or permanent solution po. If you will not do anything, then your days are counted. Your days are counted po. Peace-loving ang mga Filipinos. Mahaba ang pasensya ng mga Filipinos. But may limitasyon tayo po, mga Filipinos. Look what happened during the time of former President, the late Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Nandyan po siya sa posisyon for 20 years. Mahaba yun po, pasensya talaga ang mga tao. Pero dumating ang araw, yon 1986 po, na fed up ang mga Filipinos, and we came out sa streets. All sectors po. Religious, political, the military, ang mga NGOs, ordinary people, lumabas po and say, tama na, palitan na. People's Power 1. People's Power 1. And then mayroon tayong People's Power 2. Sana lang po, wag natin will come to a point wherein we are going to have another people's power. Some people were saying, expecting something will happen yesterday, people's power po. Pero medyo kulang pa, no? Kulang pa po. Siguro, mayroon pa mga ibang Filipino, they're saying, okay, sige lang, we do it. We do it peacefully. Pwede pa. We can prolong our patient a little more. Pero don't be complacent. As what I said, Filipinos, mayroon din tayo limitations. Okay, pagdating naman what happened yesterday dyan po sa Manila. We'll talk about Manila, doon sa Manila po. Okay na okay sana yan po. Morning, afternoon. Although in the afternoon may konting chaos lang po. And nakita natin ang sincerity. We saw the sincerity of the those who participated in the rallies. They were shouting. They were shouting. Although some were saying Marcos should resign. Duterte should step down also. Si Sara Duterte po, no? Ikulong ang mga kurakot. Ikulong mga kurakot po. Stop corruption. No? Lahat ng mga Pilipino, those who participated, in one voice, we shouted to the whole world. Hindi lang sa nasyon natin po. The whole world was watching, and a lot of people were praying na it will be peaceful. It was peaceful. But unfortunately, kagaya what I was saying po, when I was monitoring the situation dyan po sa Pilipinas, sabi ko maganda, pagdating na mga alas 2, alas 3, gano'n, and then I do my blogging. Remember my blogging, I was saying, maganda what happened po. I was really thinking that the ending will be something like a fairy tale story. The ending will be, they live happily ever after. Pero hindi yun nangyari po pagdating sa gabi. Pagdating sa gabi, mayroon mga grupo po who took advantage. And I believe these are not the genuine demonstrators. These are not the real one who were fighting yesterday for the stop of corruption in the Philippines. They took advantage. They burned. They destroy public facilities like traffic lights. They ransack. Mayroon isang hotel dyan. If I'm not mistaken, ang Sogo Hotel po. They came in and destroy. And they beat even policemen. The policemen were very lenient. Very lenient po. They went to the extent na silang pabayaan na lang sila po because this is what our democracy says. May voice tayo to voice out. Puro nag-abuso na po. Nag-abuso na po. Burning was there. Mayroon na mga riots came in with black shirt and then covered their face. And unfortunately, even mga young children, mga bata po, we can see in the footages po, throwing stone to our policemen. I'm sure they don't know what they are doing. And mayroon pa mga balita po that this small group were being paid to do the chaos, to do the rioting po. Paid by whom? Some say it's paid by politicians. Who are those politicians? We don't know. Marites lang ito po. Chismis. But the police authorities and other local authorities now are investigating and they arrested. They already arrested, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they are already arrested as of this morning report. They arrested something like 260 individuals. And how many policemen injured? Malapit na po 100. Last night, rumors were saying mayroon namatay. Pero wala yan po. This morning, I look at the mainstream media, ang DOH reported may isang tao namatay. So, ganun po. Galit na galit ang mayor ng Manila. And who is the mayor of Manila? Si Isko Moreno. Si Yorme. Si Yorme po. Okay, let me share with you a video clip of what happened dyan po sa Manila. Yan sa gabi na yan po. No? Itong report, police report ito po. Let's listen. And then later on, I will share with you some footages of Mayor Isko Moreno. So, stay tuned lang kayo po. No? And you will be able to get this very important news and see several video clips po. So, at least you will have an idea. You will have an idea po. No? You will have an idea. Meron na ba tayo? Lumabas na ba tayo yon na speech ni Inday Sara Duterte? Later on na lang po. Tapusin muna natin itong, sige, kasi may may message dito po kung mayroon daw tayong footage of Inday Sara Duterte sa Japan tungkol sa third country. Third country. Okay. Let me share with you itong video clip. Sandali. Okay, sandali. Okay, si Inday Sara Duterte yun po. And yun na request natin. I hope I managed to please you already na. Siguro yung kanina when I played, nag-miss siya. And 3 of them sa message naghingi kung can we show again ang video clippings ni Inday Sara Duterte. So nandyan na po. Nandyan na po. So okay, tuloy natin ang report ng police tungkol what happened yesterday dyan po sa rally sa Manila, no? Sa Manila. And nandito po 139, saan na yun? 139, ha? Ito po, let's listen to this.
Hi, we're here at the Manila Police District waiting for acting PNP Chief Jose Melencio Nartaez for a statement on the incident last night, but we already got a statement from PNP spokesperson Philippines. It's about 216 individuals arrested during the riot yesterday at the Mindiola Bridge. 112 of them are adults, 89 are minors, and 24 are children or children at risk or below 12 years old. Now, there are parents outside the gate of the MPD waiting to be able to see their children who were allegedly involved in the riot yesterday and was taken into police custody. Both of them have not seen or spoken to their kids since yesterday. A mother claimed her child did not ask for permission that he would join any of the protest rallies yesterday, but he didn't come home last night. They learned from the police that her son was brought here at the MPD. Now, another parent claims that her son was just mistakenly identified as one of the youngsters who threw stones at the police forces. Other parents say their kids were just curious bystanders in the area when the police force took them. At present, the gate of the MPD is closed, and the parents and relatives of these kids allegedly taken here were just waiting for confirmation if their loved one is really detained inside. Now, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno earlier said that some minors who were arrested after the incident were brought to the Manila Social Welfare. Mai?
Alright, yan po ang report galing sa report or detalles galing sa mga police authorities natin po dyan sa Manila, no? And yes, you heard ang mga parents were saying the children, they did not come home last night. They didn't know that ang mga anak nila po will be participating sa rally, and some of them are just curious po, no? Curious of what is happening in their surroundings. So, mayroon din na nakita ko kanina yun po sa footage sa news, mainstream media po, iyak-iyak pa ang nanay po, sabi niya wala daw siyang pera para magbayad ng piyansa, bail sa anak niya po. So, let it be a lesson. Let it be a lesson to all parents now po, no? Pagdating may mga big events like rallies or even calamities po, no? No, make sure that you know kung ang whereabouts ng mga anak ninyo po. Kasi mahirap na po. Regrets will always come at the end. It will not come first. It will come at the end. And once they violated the law, they have to face the music. Kaya nga sabi ni Mayor Isko Moreno, no, hindi pwede. You violated, you have to face the consequences. You have to face the consequences. This is the only way wherein we will be able to discipline our people. Sabi ni Mayor Isko Moreno. In a way po, yes, I agree with the Mayor Isko Moreno po. Dapat po, firm tayo po, matapang tayo po. Ang puso natin po, although Filipinos, we are known, we are having a soft heart. But dumating na, siguro, ang panahon kay Mayor Isko Moreno po, ang limitasyon. As what I said, we all have our limitation po. Sobra na po. Galit na tayo, what happened, ang mga politicians natin, ang mga government officials natin, ang mga contractors natin po, and nandito din, dumating din itong mga youth, mga bata, participating, at ang rason ng mga parents that hindi namin alam. You should know, every time, especially during big events po, you should know kung nasaan ang mga anak ninyo. Kung nasaan ang anak ninyo. Para at least, safe ang mga bata. That is the responsibility of parents. Okay? Nandito po, let me share with you ang footage ni Isko Moreno or Mayor Isko Moreno. Nandito, let's listen to this footage.
Mobster ngayong gabi na nahuli, nasa MPD na, no? About 70 plus of them were apprehended, and charges will be filed against them. Arson and damage to property, public property and government property and private. All of them will throw the books to them. Tingin ko naman na kanina puro silang ngiti, bukas puro sila iyak.
Mayor, ano po ang instruction nyo kay Brigadier General Abad?
Yun nga, maglinis pa ngayon. Baka nandiyan pa yung mga tulongge sa tabi-tabi. Nagsipagdayuan Caloocan, Taguig, Pasay, Parañaque. Mga dito ng gulo sa Maynila. Then we'll see. Tingnan natin kung ngingiti pa sila bukas.
Sabi naman yan, narinig namin utak talangka, utak mga ating itong mga nagsigawan kayo itong mga kaguluhan, tama?
Wala ka naman tamang pag-iisip para manunog ka ng property na may property.
Pero ganun ba tayo tagapagay?
Gusto nila yata sumikat Di bukas sisikat sila. O kaya lang malilim. Dahil may reya sa bakal.
Yun, may sa akin, last, nagkaroon ba tayong natanggap na report na sa ating kapulisan? Kung meron ba nagkaputok ng baril doon sa may
Wala nagpapunta. Kaya nga pinagpapasalamat ko kahit nasugatan yung mga pulis natin talagang maximum tolerance. Doon naman ako napabilib talaga. Nakita nyo naman ang mga ginawa ng mga tulongges na doon, di ba? But then again, those 70 plus were apprehended will be charged. And we were thinking of arson and other things. We'll just throw the books to them. Pasensya na kayo, mga magulang. Pinabayaan ninyo mga anak ninyo eh. Kung ako sa inyo, dapat inarugaan nyo yung mga yan.
Identify po ba, Mayor?
Alright, yun si Mayor Isko Moreno po, no? Last night interview yon, last night. And kita natin po na galit din si Mayor. You cannot blame him. Kasi lugar niya yan po, Metro. Metro Manila, siya ang mayor ng Manila. So, apektado talaga ang Manila po. Vandalism. You see, as early as last night, late last night po, nakita natin sa mga news coverage ng mga vloggers na nandun po, lumabas si Mayor Isko Moreno po at sa mga antao niya po, started cleaning, repainting ang Manila po. Because mayroon yung mga vandalism. They started writing in the wall with paints, sira ang traffic lights po, and who will pay it? Who will pay ang repairs ng mga damaged public properties po, facilities? Kayo po, tayo po, mga residente ng Manila. See? What happened sa Luneta maganda? Peaceful, okay, shouting, yes. Pero okay po, but not to the extent. Kaya nga, I don't discount the possibility that itong may mga tao po, itong rumors na some politicians, some businessmen, maybe they're not happy their names were mentioned. Hindi man ito confirm, This is not confirmed. I'm just saying, based on what we heard, ang mga balita dyan po sa Pilipinas, na there are group of people who finance this scrupulous individuals po who carried out itong riot dyan po sa Manila last night, burning of properties, of properties, beating, physical attack against police authorities, policemen po. Grabe po, hindi dapat yung ganyan. Hindi dapat yung ganyan po. Alright, mayroon pa tayo isang footage dito. Si Mayor Isko Moreno pa rin. Right. Let's listen to this. Let's watch and listen to this. Ito po. Ito po.
So, siyempre nalulungkot tayo. Masyadong malaki yung damage na ginawa ng mga I don't think rallyista yung mga yun, because as you all know, they were in their respective places in the morning and in the afternoon. Pero itong mga tolongges na kabataan, pagdating ng lilim ng gabi, nag-mob na, that as you can see, maraming public property and private property were damaged. At ang nakakalungkot, marami akong pulis na nasugatan. Nasa ospital naman sila ngayon. Yung isa inooperahan in our city hospital and national government hospital. And meron ng umigit kumulang 100 mga I think kabataan na gusto ang gulang, no? Na nasa poder ng alagad ng batas. Nasa Station 14 at saka headquarters who were apprehended by our
Okay, yun po. Narinig natin si Mayor Isko Moreno po, no? Galit na galit si Mayor Isko Moreno, and you cannot blame him. Sa lugar niya nun po na it happened. Sa lugar niya po. No? Kawawa ang mga polis, kawawa ang mga may-ari ng mga properties being damaged. No? Kawawa ang mga Filipino po. Kawawa those who participated in good faith sa rally natin, ang billion peso rally at saka trillion peso rally kahapon po. Kahapon. Alright? So, yun po. And let us wait and see in these coming days po ano ang mga measures that the Marcos administration will take after listening, seeing ang boses ng masa kahapon. Alright. Now, talking about itong mga proyekto po, no? Mga projects, anomalous projects po. This time around, I will share with you one more footage, my last footage, I promise, tungkol sa proyekto dyan sa Pilipinas. And for your information, I will try to get other reports on the anomalous projects po. Every time I will come out with itong Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico program natin po para malaman natin po, kayo po, na ano-anong mga proyekto po. And this time around, today, I will share with you one footage po, ang anomalous project, ang kalokohan project po, na nangyari dyan po sa Zamboanga City. Mga kababayan ko from Zamboanga City who are now in Sabah or in Malaysia po, you watch itong video clip that I have prepared for all of you po, no? And makita ninyo po na ano talaga nangyari. Totoo ba ito o hindi? Sa palagay ko po, sa akin, if you ask me po, totoo, kalokohan ang gobyerno po. I'm sorry to say that. But this is how I feel. No? This is how, and this should stop. Nandito po. Let's watch this video clip. I think this will be my last video clip for today. And nandito po. Ang sport complex ng Zamboanga City po. And this is being reported by no other than a very respectable journalist who is doing investigative reporting po. No other than si Miss Jessica Soho. Let's watch and listen to this report.
Zamboanga City sa Mindanao, pangarap ng mga atleta ang nalulunod sa nasirang proyekto ng gobyerno. Ang halos 6 hectares na sports complex na ito, ang Joaquin Enriquez Memorial Sports Complex. Base sa plano, kumpleto ito sa mga pasilidad. May basketball, tennis at volleyball courts. Meron ding soccer field at swimming pool na pinondohan ng mahigit 180 million pesos. Gayong ang mga pasilidad dito parang nalipasan na raw ng panahon. Ang rubberized flooring ng track oval nagbabakbak, punit-punit at lubak-lubak na. Isa sa mga atletang nagtitraining dito, si Vudar. Pangarap ni Mudan, makatungtong sa palarong pambansa.
Mahalaga sa amin runner po, mayroon kaming pagpraktisan na maayos. Doon din kami maging matuto sa pagtakbo.
Pero imbes na matupad ang mga pangarap, parang napapahamak pa ang mga atleta sa kalidad ng kanilang sports complex.
Ito po ang mobile namin mahirap po kasi maraming lubak-lubak, parang may bukol. Delikado po, kung pagtakbo ka dito, parang matapilok ka po.
Dahil sa mga sirang pasilidad, may ilang event na raw sa sports complex na hindi natuloy.
This is our third Para Games. This is a competition for our PWDs. Every year meron tayong track and field competition, but this year, hindi namin inallow yung track and field kasi nga baka ma-injury. Siyempre, hindi regular na player ang maglalaro. So, more na vulnerable sila.
Ayon sa kinatawan ng Sports Development Division ng Zamboanga City, taong 2016 sinimulan ang rehabilitasyon ng sports complex. DPWH ang tinukoy na implementing agency. Maayos naman daw ang ibang mga pasilidad, pero ang oval track, makalipas lang ang ilang buwan, unti-unti na raw nagbakbak.
Meron siyang nagpupondong tubig. Napakabilis nung mag-evolve ng damage. Ang napansin lang namin is masyadong manipis yung rubber. Hindi siya pantay. So marami nang natitisod, marami nang nagre-reklamo na napilay. Hiningi ko na sa contractor na tignan nila ano yung kailangan nilang ayusin. So, after 6 months pa na pansin at binigyan ng tuon ng aking request,
Nakipag-ugnayan ang Zamboanga City LGU sa kontraktor para isaayos ang mga sira sa oval. Na-repair naman daw ito noong 2020. Pero makalipas ang 2 taon lang, muli itong nasira. Kaya inaayos ulit ito sa ikalawang pagkakataon.
2024, yun, lumabas na naman yung mga sira niya. Nabakbak na yung upper layer niya, and then dumami ang mga blotches. Until such time, pinastop ko na yung mga competition dito. Only joggers and walkers are allowed to use the facility.
At hindi lang pala ang track oval ang hindi lubusang mapakinabangan dahil sa likurang bahagi nito. May nakatenggang construction ng isa pang gusali. Nakakuha ang aming team ng blueprint o plano ng 4 na palapag-dapat na gusali. Pero 2 palapag na gusali lang ang itinayo. Taong 2022, nung simulan daw itayo ang multipurpose building. Ang inilaan na pondo para rito, halos 96 million pesos.
Ginawa natin ito as a result of our grassroots program dito na kailangan natin ng facilities. If you notice, karamihan ng mga national athlete natin nag-ensayo sa labas ng bansa dahil wala tayong magandang facilities.
Isa sana sa makikinabang ang buksingerong si Junjun.
Ito po yung mga medal na panalunan ko sa 2 years na pagboboxing ko.
Para makapag-training pa rin si Junjun sa kanilang bahay, gumawa na lang siya ng improvised na punching bag.
Dito po tayo sa punching bag ko. Dito po sumusuntok.
Nagpunta ang aming team sa opisina ng DPWH 2nd District Engineering Office sa Zamboanga City. Paliwanag ng dating project engineer na humawak sa multipurpose building, phase 1 pa lang ang naitayo sa gusali.
Happy ang naibigay na pera, pondo. Pero yung project, completed siya as far as phase 1 is concerned. Kung sana, mabigyan ng pondo, siguro mahigit 100 milyon para makompleto yung project natin na para magamit din ng taong bayan. Hindi nabigyan ng palwa pondo, kaya hindi na-complete siya. Sa katagalan ng panahon, minsan talaga nag-deteriorate siya. Gusto man namin natapusin siya sa madaling panahon, beyond our control. So nakadepende lang kami kung ang pondo darating.
Sa gitna ng investigasyon ng aming team, nalaman namin na iisa ang kontraktor ng oval track and field at ng multipurpose building, ang RCBG Construction Corporation. Ang tanong, sa kabila ng tila substandard na rehabilitasyon ng oval field sa sports complex, bakit sila pa rin ang kontraktor ng nakatenggang gusali?
Tumaan naman siya sa legal na paraan. Binid namin yung project. Pag-bid namin siya, RCBG pa rin ang nanalo. Tapos legit naman siya. Kaya na-award sa kanya ang project.
Pinuntahan ng aming team ang opisina ng RCBG Construction Construction Corporation sa Zamboanga City para kunin ang kanilang panig. Pero tumanggi silang magpaunlak ng interview. Sinubukan din naming makipag-ugnayan sa DPWH 1st District Engineering Office sa Zamboanga City rin na siyang namahala sa rehabilitasyon ng sports complex kung saan bahagi ang oval track, pero hindi rin sila nagpaunlak ng panayam. Balik tayo sa
Alright, yan po ang proyekto dyan po sa Zamboanga City. We were also made understand ang mga senadors natin dyan sa Manila, ang Blue Ribbon Committee will also be looking other projects dyan po sa Zamboanga related to flash control projects po na medyo may question mark dyan po, no? Anong kaya po? May mga Filipinos dito sa Sabah, they were asking me, Sir Nick, mayroon kaya kalukuhan dyan po sa proposal to transfer ang Zamboanga International Airport to Barangay Mercedes. At tagal na yung project po and hanggang ngayon po nothing is concrete moving dyan po sa proyekto ng sabihin natin New Zamboanga City International Airport. Narinig natin po, may mga nagbayad na to some of the landowners. And we heard official statement coming from the former congressman of District 2, si former majority leader of the House of Representatives, si Manix Dalipe, na ganito-ganito ang mga developments dyan po sa sabihin natin ang Zamboanga International Airport po. And a lot of people were hoping, still hoping na matuloy na itong proyekto. But, ano talaga ang totoong storya dyan po sa proyekto na yon? Flood control projects sa Zamboanga, they will be going down, ang mga senators will be going down to Zamboanga. I don't know if they already went and check. And let's see po, let's see, narinig natin ang kumpanya ni Representative Saldico, nag-joint venture with a local contractor dyan sa Zamboanga. And projects are completed, but they want to investigate po. Investigate other projects po wherein itong company ni Saldico po is involved sa proyekto po. So, yun po. From time to time, maraming salamat. I'm monitoring ang mga special investigative report ni Jessica Soho po, and from there, I can get some portion po, mga proyekto po, and share it with you dito po sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. I would like to say thank you very much for the efforts made by Madam Jessica Soho. We respect your efforts po. And it is very informative po. Ang mga tao now is getting a clear picture of what is happening sa mga infrastructure development programs natin sa Pilipinas because of your special reports. So siguro nandito na po ang programa natin na Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. But before I will say goodbye, I would like to remind ang mga followers ko dito po sa programa natin that I'm going to continue to monitor ang mga happenings dyan po sa Pilipinas, especially tomorrow. It was officially announced already by the Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman, si Senator Ping Lacson, that there will be a Blue Ribbon Committee hearing tomorrow that will start at 9 a.m. and maybe it will culminate before 4 p.m. Dapat ang Senado will start ang session nila bukas at 3 o'clock, but extended yun po, delay a little bit hanggang 4 o'clock po because ang Blue Ribbon Committee has requested to give more time for them to discuss ang mga issues that they're going to raise or touch during the Blue Ribbon Committee hearing tomorrow po. Na based on the reports, based on the announcement of Senator Ping Lacson, na last Saturday, he asked permission from the Senate President, si Senate President Vicente Soto, to allow ang itong engineer, no, ng Bulacan, kasi he was cited in contempt already po under the custody of the Senate, no, allowed to go home, leave the center, no, sa Senado po, and get ang mga ebidensya po. So, boxes of evidence were submitted to Senator Ping Lacson po, and it is now all sealed. And tomorrow, they are going to open it during the hearing. And let's see po, ano talaga ang ang laman ng mga boxes dyan po, mga ebidensya yun po. Kaya nga sabi ni Senator Ping Lacson, na he will make sure that yun may kasalanan, malagot talaga po. And yun walang kasalanan will be cleared. Ang mga pangalan nila will be cleared. And that is the reason why gustong-gusto niya po everything will be transparent during the hearing or in the hearing of the Blue Ribbon Committee of the Senate when it comes to the anomalous flush control projects po, especially itong involvement of the officials coming from the Department of Public Works and Highways, and they're still starting dito pa lang po sa Bulacan and many more. More than 100 projects they already started looking into with the help of the advisor of ICI, si Mayor ng Baguio, si Mayor Benji Magalong po. So, hanggang dito na lang. Medyo mahaba yata ang programa natin. And let's continue to pray and be vigilant and prolong our patience, no? Kasi solving a problem, especially big problems like this, what we are facing now po, we cannot solve the problem overnight lang po. It has to take time. Sana lang po, taking time will not be too long. No? Because ang mga Filipino wants to see results. We don't want to hear only talks. No? Actions speak louder than words. So with this, once again, Nico Fabian would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. And ingat, take good care of yourself, and see you tomorrow. Bye.